I'm Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and recently I came across this book and idea from Saundra Dalton-Smith. Now, who is Saundra Dalton-Smith and what is the book? Well, she is, for all intents and purposes, a doctor, right? And one of the things that she studied was rest, not sleep. Sleep, yes, that was part of it, but more importantly, rest. And the title of the book is Sacred Rest, Recover Your Life, Renew Your Energy, Restore Your Sanity. And she identified other areas beyond sleep that are important to our rest. And that's what I want to go over today, okay? Now, before I fully get into it, though, I would like to take the opportunity to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you get all the various lessons and episodes that I put out right when I put them out. Thank you if you just did, and thank you if you already were. It truly does mean a lot to me, as I hope it does to you. So, without further ado, let's get into this, right? So, when we talk about rest, it's become synonymous with sleep, right? And the quality of our sleep and so forth. And sleep is definitely important, but there are other areas of rest as well that we don't consider, and that's why we feel tired and exhausted and, cranky, whatever the case may be. Just not good, right? So, through her research, it started off as a very personal journey, and then it evolved, and there's trials and studies and things like that. And she identified other areas of rest. So let me rattle them off and then kind of go into a little bit of depth with each of them. So there's physical, there's mental, there's spiritual, emotional, social, sensory, and creative. Okay? So those are the ones. So let's kind of break down each of them, right? Physical. As she states, the chance to use the body in restorative ways to decrease muscle tension, reduce headaches, and promote higher quality sleep. Okay? Mental. The ability to quiet cerebral chatter and focus on things that matter. Emotional. The freedom to authentically express feelings and eliminate people-pleasing behaviors. Social. The wisdom to recognize relationships that revive from ones that exhaust and how to limit exposure to toxic people. Sensory. The opportunity to downgrade the endless onslaught of sensory input received from electronics, fragrances, and background noise. Creative. The experience of allowing beauty to inspire awe and liberate wonder. Below, and stuff like that, right? So those are the various ones. And it would be a disservice for me to really expand upon these like the book does, right? It would be a huge disservice. However, I want to introduce this idea to you and not only point you to the book, which I think is fantastic, but also be able to take an action step, which is wonderful. So Saundra Dalton-Smith has this website called restquiz.com. So if you just go to restquiz.com, it's a free assessment of the areas in your life where you need more rest and where you are getting adequate rest. So it's a questionnaire. It's relatively lengthy, but it takes about 10 to 15 minutes, give or take. I did it myself. And just by doing that, already you can see the patterns in your life and also see results for yourself of how you can adjust, right? Now, at the same time, things are fluid, so, my recommendation would be like all things, maybe you take the quiz and then 6 months later you retake and so forth and see how progress is working for you. But I absolutely love that, right? It going beyond just, because we put such an emphasis on just sleep, and some people, could get 8 hours of sleep, but it's like, or 9 hours or 10 hours, and it's like, why am I still tired? Well, it's because of all these things, are you straining yourself too physically? Are you doing that? Are you mentally overexhausting yourself where, you're just constantly like working on, problem solving or, stressed, whatever it may be. Spiritually, like, it doesn't have to be about God necessarily, but do you have a connection, with your soul essentially, right? Emotional, like, are you feeling your feeling your feelings type of thing? Are you just people pleasing, just doing what isn't really true to you? whether at your job or in your personal life, and letting that dictate how you go about your day. Social, kind of tied into that. Are you just saying yes to things that just because it's the norm, right? But you don't actually want to be doing. Maybe you're an introvert and going out 4 times a week is too much. Maybe just once a week is enough, right? So really realigning with your ultimate desires, right? Sensory. Today, by God, everywhere we go, it's sensory overload. One of my biggest pet peeves is I'm at the damn gas station and I'm trying to pump gas, and all of a sudden, boom, I start, and then there's this TV, just jacked up volume to 11 and so forth, just trying to get my attention. And it's just, for me, when I work, I try to just cut off all excess noise as much as possible. And creative is interesting because, obviously the stuff that I do is geared towards artists, but in all sense of the word, we're all creative in some capacity, right? And we can be drained if we don't take the time to have gratitude for the things around us, right? And that could be reading a book, that could be going out in nature, whatever it is, but just seeing the natural beauty in all its ways. And when I say natural beauty, I don't just mean nature itself. I mean just the day-to-day things that are around us, and so forth, right? And that inspires creativity within us. The muse comes, as they say. So that's kind of a rough breakdown of all this. Like I said, it's meant as just an introduction, but like I said, take the quiz, restquiz.com, and really get to know yourself, and see the areas where you can get more meaningful rest. And the book is Sacred Rest, Recover Your Life, Renew Your Energy, Restore Your Sanity. I think that's a big claim, but I think the book addresses that claim very well and gives you the tools to be able to do all those things. So that's why I think it's absolutely wonderful. Anyway, thank you so much. If you have comments or thoughts of your own, especially if you take the quiz and so forth, I'd love to kind of hear what you learned. Comment down below or hit me up on social media at Svitek, because I'm curious, right? Also, if you appreciate the various episodes that I do, like this one, and would like to, you feel like there's a benefit in deep diving with me, more personally, then we can do that through my Patreon page at patreon.com/Svitek. It allows us to connect more and things of that nature, right? And lastly, I create stuff artistically, that's out there, whether books, movies, and other stuff. All of that stuff is linked to down below in the description box. It would mean a lot to me if you at least checked it out. If you can support, that's great, because supporting that stuff allows me to learn and share the lessons that I do on episodes like this, right? That's the beautiful thing. It's very symbiotic. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and see you next time.